All righty, everybody. Regina Anley here, and it is time for Coffee with Regina. And today I have my friend Tom Gay, who is the founder of EngagePro.com with me. Welcome, Tom.
Thank you, Regina. I have my coffee with me also, so this is perfect.
Yay!
Yay!
So, for anybody who knows Tom, they know. If you don't know Tom, you need to know Tom. And here's why. So Tom is a serial entrepreneur and the founder of EngagePro.com, ChatBridge.com, and Refer.com. Just those names should tell you why you need to be connected with him. And he served almost 5 million professionals globally. He's also the founder. He also founded, National Decision Systems and Vista Info, gaining 2 Inc. 500 awards and recognition as one of the 5 best undiscovered small company CEOs in the USA by Individual Investor magazine. And this is absolutely amazing because Tom, his conversations are, he's talking about referrals and relationship marketing and leadership and development. And I'm looking at your bio as I'm sitting there trying to read it, and I'm going, I am amazed. You have been out here in this business world and entrepreneur world for a while now, and I think you're one of those master connectors.
Well, thank you. I do consider myself a connector and place a lot of emphasis on relationships forward, relationships first. And so it's always been a valuable tool, means, mechanism, lifestyle to help build success for me and others. So yes, thank you. I'm always trying to build relationships.
And so, our chat streams here are all about building your business and creating more success for your business. And in order to create more success for your business, what do you need? You need to be in front of more people. You need to connect with more people. You need people to refer you. You need those relationships. And that is what you do. You tell us about some of these companies that you founded that have literally made the stepping stones for connection.
Well, I would say for the last 25 years, I've been teaching people how to build trusted relationships. Now, this is important in a systematic and repeatable way. Those two factors mean you're turning the call to do that into a lifestyle, into a habit or set of habits. And it's sort of contradictory to everything that's evolved in the last 25 years as to what we've been schooled or taught to do. As you know, connect, 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 connect. How many connections did you make? So and so wants to connect and follow you. All of that connecting isn't wrong, but it's incomplete, as I like to say. Connecting only becomes valuable when you attach to it follow up. Follow up only becomes valuable when you find something in common that you can do together. Now, serve each other, befriend each other, help solve a problem that one may have. It includes selling your product. But I'm sort of I penned an article recently saying it's time for the great relationship reset. Time for the pendulum to move back towards the middle in this continuum between technology and people to people interactions. And we've overextended the role we've allowed technology to play in our life. And I'm a techie, by the way, so I'm not throwing it off. But along the way, we've surrendered the value of people to people relationships. And so I argue if you want to see your life and your business move in a better direction, move your energies back towards connecting, follow up, and becoming committed to the relationships where you learn what each other is all about and can help each other move forward in whatever your objectives are. And that resonates. That resonates. I'm in front of hundreds of people every week telling this story and telling them how to do it specifically. Because to sit here and say it in a wonderful setting like this is one thing, but people need to learn the step-by-step, systematic and repeatable ways to do it. That's what I focus on.
Yeah, when you were saying that, I was thinking about all of these people because I get inundated with messages on LinkedIn and Facebook and even Instagram and stuff that say, hey, I can grow your followers to 20,000, 40,000, 50,000. And it's like those aren't relationships. Those are connections. And even I speak with my clients and we talk about building Facebook groups, building your LinkedIn, stuff like that, and we talk about how many people they're like, oh yeah, I'm going to build my group, I'm going to have 5,000 people in my group, it's going to be great. And it's like, okay, well, are those 5,000 people actually people that you're connected with? Are they your ideal audience? Are they the collaborators? Are they people who actually care about what you do, or are they people that you just plopped into your communities to put a number up? And those aren't relationships. That's the technology taking over with the, hey, I'm going to have as many people as I can so I look awesome because I have 10,000 followers. I honestly don't care when people say, oh, I have 10,000 followers. My question is, yeah, how many of those are actually your clients? How many of those do you actually relate with? How many do you have relationships with?
Well, I'm going to shake somebody up right now. I hope you're okay. It's early in the morning, so a little time to shake. I teach people how to build a business in the professional services area. Coaches, consultants, insurance advisors, financial advisors. You can keep going, accountants and lawyers. And I teach that when you're getting on the pathway towards this, you don't need more than 20 people, and you can totally fill your sales pipeline with the 20 people. Now, you may expand it, but don't get crazy. You could go up to 30 people. However, I built in one of my companies, and it led to all of my technology, refer.com and Engagepro. I built a very successful CEO consulting business, generating close to 400,000 a year from a start of not in a new market, not knowing a single business person, not one. And I did that in 18 months.
Wow.
And all by building trusted relationships. This is important now with the people who are already serving my ideal target client.
Interesting.
Yeah. So if you're working with my client and my target client, let's be careful, and serving them well, and I'm working with your target client and serving them well, and suddenly we join together, we have potential synergy to serve each other's target clients. And when you focus on those synergies, that each comes out ahead, each becomes a winner. Now, all of a sudden, you've got leverage, you've got scalability, and there's so many people in these professional services categories, especially over the last 5 years, so many people have started their own business, where they're hungry because they don't focus on the right things. They're out there trying to build that community of 5 or 10,000 people, thinking that's going to be the answer. It's a panacea. It doesn't work.
Yeah, a lot of people think it's like, okay, well, if I get 10,000 people in my group, and then I can get 1% of them, that'll be enough for me. And it's like throwing this proverbial spaghetti at the wall and seeing what sticks, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You're basically showing you know a little bit about arithmetic, but not about results. And
Exactly.
results come. And I shock people because I do a lot of training and events like this in small groups where we can get up close and personal. And I say to them, stop throwing everything against the wall, hoping something sticks. Let's go choose your A list. I'll just give that name. I use that name regularly. But let's go choose the priorities and answer the question. I have two great questions that I bring. Answer the question of who's doing business with the people you'd like to do business with today. That's number
Great,
one.
great question.
And number two, and this is a big surprise to a lot of people, who have you already served that you're no longer keeping in touch with? The
Mm.
people who you've built relationships with, who you've got trust established with already, and you've let them slip through the cracks. You're down the road trying to hunt down a new target. And I can show you case after case where I've refocused very talented trainer coaches, major companies, refocus them back towards the people they served before. I have one sales trainer with a national brand who in 30 days, by shifting his focus, he deposited in 30 days over $100,000 in new business checks.
Wow.
He simply took his eye off the ball. And a lot of us do that. I mean, there's a lot of us with company in that category. But it's sort of like stepping over dollars to pick up dimes.
I like that.
I've got so many stories of that type, and all it takes is shifting your focus in a little different direction, and the opportunities are there.
And so I know you're like a master at referral connections. So you started refer.com,
Yes,
and then I believe you sold that, correct?
correct. About 6 years ago.
And then you went into ChatBridge.
Yeah, that's when our great COVID impact came, and I sort of sat on the sidelines doing a little bit of coaching, training some professionals how to get business in a virtual world. And then about 2.5 years ago, I started chatbridgeconnect.com and engagepro.com, teaching people how to get results from Zoom networking and how to get referrals to grow sales.
So all right, so how do you do that? I mean, it's engagepro.com. So actually, so for everybody listening in, I joined his engagepro.com, and I will tell you right now, just because of the book launch and everything else I got going on here, I have not dug deep into it. I have gone out onto my Engage Pro dashboard though, and this application is actually phenomenal for connections.
Yes, it's got a couple of unique things. Maybe more than a couple. First of all, it's a piece of software, but it's simple. We
Mhm.
purposely made it easy. And I sometimes get into arm wrestling with people who say, well, gee, I wanted to hook up to this or hook up to that. And I go, no. The simple things it does. You stop and look at all the notes that you have scattered on your desktop of people you're supposed to follow up with. And they sit there until they get moldy, and then you throw them out. When you bring them into Engage Pro and set up a reconnection or communication cycle, Engage Pro takes on that responsibility, and we tell you it's time to reach out and talk to Regina.
Right. So all of those people, like you said, it's like even clients and that kind of thing where you've lost touch, your application basically, pokes you and says, hey, it's time to reach out to this person.
Exactly. Now, then it's got a little bit of magic in it. I've never called it that before, Regina, but I'm going to use that term today because people think it's magic. If I'm meeting you and I've met you and I'm starting to learn a little bit about you, if I put those little pieces of information into Engage Pro, in split seconds, Engage Pro will go out into the broad communication web world and find me articles about those things you're interested in. So I can use those to bridge the communication gap and build a relationship. I'll give you an example. I met this executive coach back in Columbia, South Carolina. I'm in Southern California for the first time. It was a Friday afternoon before Christmas. He stands up in our Zoom meeting and says, Tom, I got to run. It's been a great meeting. Let's talk next week. He's wearing an ugly Christmas sweater. Now think about this. A couple of weeks before Christmas, he's got to go pick up his wife to go to the party. I put ugly Christmas sweater into Engage Pro in his record. First piece of information I added about him. We have a little tool there that's called the Intelligent Connector. Clicked on that term, ugly Christmas sweater, and instantly, like before you could turn the light switch, back in front of me were 10 articles on the history of the ugly Christmas sweater, the 22 worst ugly Christmas sweaters for 2022, and others. All I had to do was click one of them, and I now have that attached in my computer to put on an email to him. And I sent it to him as a thank you note with that, hope you had a great time at the party last night. I sure enjoyed our chat. How did your sweater stack up against the ones you're going to see in this article? That's become a relationship, a dear relationship here, where we'll be 2 years this coming December.
Yeah, so you know what, that brings it that brings out some really good points, because when you think about that, what we normally do, I mean, I'm a member of a couple different virtual networking organizations that I actually subscribe to, and then I'm in and out of other places that people are inviting me to, saying, "Hey, come to this virtual networking thing," and all this kind of stuff, and you meet people constantly, and normally what I get is, "Hey, Regina, it was nice meeting you at so-and-so event last night. Let's chat." And that's it. And that's the message that I get. And I'll tell you, after I get, every day I get 100, 200, 300, depends on the day, emails in my box. And if I see that, I'm like, that's great. Okay. And then I pass it, and because they haven't really sparked my interest. They just said, "Hey, it was great meeting you last night. And yeah, we should chat." And I'm like, "Yeah, okay, I'll get to that later." Now, if somebody did that, and based on our conversation from the meeting or something, just pulled one of those little tidbits in and put like an article like that, now you have my utmost attention, because now I really connected with you, and I went, "Oh my gosh, you remember that. That is so great." Now I'm opening your email, responding right away, going, "Yeah, let's chat."
That's how it works. I tell you the story of a merger and acquisition consultant in Chicago trying to get to buy my product. It's another Friday. He said, I thought I had the sale made. And he said, I'm going away with my wife tomorrow. We're driving to Hilton Head to play golf for a week. Okay. You can't force a square peg in a round hole. I knew I couldn't get the sale until hopefully it would still be warm when he got back. I went into Engage Pro, put in Hilton Head Best Seafood Restaurant. Up in a moment came the Yelp listing for Hudson's Seafood. I'd been there before. It's right over the bridge on the left, best blackened redfish in Hilton Head Island. That Yelp link was in an email within 30 minutes of hanging up the call. With when you're in with my note, when you're in Hilton Head, be sure to stop at Hudson's, best blackened redfish in the island. It's just over the bridge on the left when you enter the island. That's what I said to him. That evening, for him in Chicago, he called me and said, "Let's get started. No one's ever done this for me before." The simplest way that people describe this is it works because it's relationships first. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. In a noisy world, we have to do something different to show we care a lot more than we usually do.
Right. And I mean, I think that's the challenge right now with a lot of people out there. It's just, I want to connect, get me in front of as many people as you can. I don't want to get in front of as many people as I can. I want to get in front of a handful of the right people, and I want to make a real connection with them.
Yeah. That's it exactly, Regina. And as I say, let's start with 20. Let's start with finding 20. And we show people how to do that as they get started in Engage Pro. But on the way to finding 20, when results start coming in 3 or 4 weeks, meaning sales results, now all of a sudden the reinforcement of the focus is established. Reward of getting new sales attached to the behavior of focus, and it's just another piece of magic, because when someone gets a result for what they're doing, they like to repeat it, and that's what we're building: a lifestyle, a new habit set, and it's exciting. It's exciting to see them achieve these goals, and then for me, it's good because they tell their friends.
Right. It just came to mind when you were saying that. I was yeah, totally dating myself here, but I think it was a 70s commercial of the You Tell Two Friends, it was a hair product commercial. And it was you tell two friends and they'll tell two friends and so on and so on and so on. And, we don't need to connect with a ton of people immediately. We need to go create those initial relationships. And then the ripple effect is then when you create that relationship, then they start telling people, oh my gosh, you have to work with Tom because, I've worked with Tom and he does this and he does that. And then now you're in front of them and then they tell their friends and they tell their friends. And it just keeps growing from there. When you create real deep relationships, it makes a big difference. We're not just numbers, we're people.
Yeah, there's a very interesting phenomena in the internal psychological dynamics of what we teach. We teach give first, give again, like giving that article on the ugly Christmas sweater or the restaurant. As you give and give again, what happens in the person who is receiving is this inner desire to reciprocate, to mirror back to you a giving process. Now, when you give and give and give, people begin to know, like, and trust you. We've all heard that you want know, like, and trust relationships. Well, you get them by being a giver. But as you give and give and give, and trust builds, the desire to reciprocate by the receiver starts to magnify. It can become a pressure in them. Now you simply begin the process of teaching them the best way to reciprocate. Best ways to reciprocate may be to introduce you to someone who needs what you do. I call that the art of asking, by the way. And when you relieve the pressure of that desire to give back, a little endorphin bomb goes off inside of the brains of the people who are giving back. It's in all of us. If you're a giver, your endorphins are going as you give.
Yep.
The recipient has those same chemical needs to release. And when you teach them how they can, you can put this into any place in life. When you give and somebody gives back, I have a blog I wrote saying, never go knock on someone's door with both hands empty.
I like that.
In the old days, you always took a box of cookies or a pie when you went out for a Sunday visit with a neighbor, some apples you just picked off the tree, whatever, tomatoes out of the garden. You always took a hospitality gift, we used to call it.
Yeah.
It's the same dynamic, but here it is in a 2024 wrapper.
Right. And my philosophy behind that is I give without expecting anything in return.
Perfect.
And I mean, the deal is that I give without expecting anything in return. And I would say 98% of the time I get something in return, even though I'm not expecting it, because that's that's psychologically how people react. I don't expect it though. If you start expecting, psychologically speaking and energetically speaking, if you start expecting, oh, I'm going to give because I'm going to give Tom this stuff because I want Tom to give me something, then that's actually pushing bad energy. If I say, hey, I'm going to give Tom this because I want to give Tom this because I like Tom, and then Tom goes, wow, I got that, and he feels that and goes, you know what, I want to give something back, and it's all about that kind of connection. So I just want to make it clear that it's not about giving with the expectation that you're going to get something in return. That's just naturally psychologically how things work.
Yeah, I use a phrase, give to give, don't give to get.
Yes, exactly.
Give to give. And, there's one thing about givers that is let's call it a parallel or side effect. When you become a giver and recognized as a giver, all of a sudden you become a magnet. People are attracted to you. You become an influencer. You become a center of influence. You walk into a room and the social proof of your giving lifestyle is evidenced by people not coming to get, but you're so unique. They want to hang with you. They want to be in your sphere, in your community. And if you stop and think about the people who you meet at a networking meeting or you meet at the Rotary Club or wherever you go, the influencers in most cases are the givers.
Mm-hmm.
And and usually they're receivers along the way for simply being others focused.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I know we are starting to run short on time because we could talk about this stuff forever, because there's so much we could talk about on this and go down all kinds of other different places. However, I want to talk about, I know you have a community out on school.
Yes, yes. About the first of the year, I decided that this is a cause for me to teach people how to move out of the space they're in into a space where there's abundance awaiting them. So what I did is I created a couple of training courses, and because of what I teach, I attracted a relationship with alignable.com. And they said, Tom, you've got to come teach this to our members. So I said, well, let me build this little community and invite people to join. And it's complimentary. There's no cost to get in. And it's got 2 courses in there that I love to share with people. Every week, about 200 people attend these, but they're recorded as well inside of the school. One is called The Starting Point, and that is understanding the principles of building a referrals-based mindset in business. And the other one is called Rapid Results, because once you know the principles, Rapid Results takes you into the steps to get going. And you can come in and go from a standing start to getting results in 30 days, and you don't have to buy anything from me. Now, thankfully, enough people do to make it more rewarding, if you will, but it's because we've earned that. And I'd love to bring people in and just say, get into the starting point. It's going to teach you the exact steps. And so that school property has grown enormously, and very personal about it because I make friends there because they become givers in the course of building their own success.
Yeah, and your school community fits right in because you're teaching them how to build those relationships and how to create everything that they need to create their successful business. And then that brings them right into, hey, how am I going to organize all this stuff and make sure I'm on top of it? Because now I've got these relationships. And that's where your actual product comes in with Engage Pro. So tell us about that a little bit.
Well, Engage Pro is a very economical tool to help people take the ones that they want to focus on. Remember that A list, bring them in, set it up so it reminds you in the cycle, the interval or the keep in touch intervals. It then takes over and will keep reminding you that it's time to reach out and talk to Regina. You're late in talking to Regina. Regina's coming up next week. Very gentle, not in your face reminders. And then it's got that powerful, intelligent connector that when it is time to talk to Regina, you've added what you've learned about her over the course of your conversations, and all of those are in the system available for you to click on and go and find something that is bridge building or relationship building, as I like to say, in nature. And it's got a low investment. It's not rocket science. It's easy to learn. We teach people every week how, via a virtual meeting, how to get started. And for around 20 to 25 bucks a month, you get the whole program. So you're not going to go out and have to take out a second mortgage.
Yeah, like I said, I actually have signed up for Engage Pro, and I'm just scratching the surface. And literally what Tom just said, it's my plan with Engage Pro is to put my A-listers out there, those people that I want to make sure that I'm connecting with. I hear these days, before we have to wrap up here, I hear these days that it's not, it used to be a long time ago, it used to be like 7 touches to get to people now and keep them engaged. Now it's like 21 or something.
Well, because there's so much noise, it takes a lot more to get through to building a meaningful connection. And inside that noise are all these tools like Facebook and LinkedIn and the things we all use, with so many unproductive starting points there, if you will. So if you put 20 people into Engage Pro, 20, that's what we suggest you start with as you learn. You're going to find 16 of those people will be responding to you after the 3rd touch, and that's within 6 weeks. 3 touches instead of 22.
Okay.
16 when you go personal, and then the other 4 may take some more, or there may be ones they'll never respond. But that's, by the time you get to the 16, you're going to be bringing other people in because your network is going to be growing with the same kinds of people.
Right. And I really love that. And I love that. I love how it reminds you and just gives you that gentle nudge going, hey, it's time to connect with Tom. You haven't connected with Tom in a little bit. It reminds you to go out there and do it. And like you said, you can put the notes and stuff in there. So if you meet somebody at a networking event, you can have Engage Pro up on the other side and just go, okay, yep, they said they like ugly sweaters. Oh, they said they're going to Hilton Head. They said this, they said that. You could put the notes there, because I don't know about you, but when you go to some of these networking events that have, 50, 100, 200, 300 people in them, and you chat with a bunch of people, I don't know about you, but I get done the meeting next day, I'm like, wait a minute, who was that Tom guy and what does he do?
Well, I'm going to tease you a little bit and say there's a point in time I'm going to seek an invite to come back and talk with you all about ChatBridge, because ChatBridge converts that saved Zoom chat immediately in 2 clicks into a simple prioritized follow-up list for you.
Ooh, yeah, we have to talk about that. You're going to be back on for that, Tom.
It blows people's mind. If you're in a meeting with 50 people and you're looking for someone who is a podcaster, and you simply put podcast into the search, immediately come up all the people who are in that room who have podcasts. Or if you're a speaker and you want people to search you out, or you give your 30-second elevator pitch, and the host says, if you want to talk to Regina, put Regina's name in the chat. With ChatBridge, Regina comes in the search, puts her name in. There's all the people who want to follow up with her.
I love that. Wow, talk about making that easy. Because I don't know about you, but I've downloaded the chat from a Zoom and then manually gone through and looked at it. And I'll tell you, the chat from a Zoom and a text, it's not fun to parse through all of that information. It really isn't.
2 clicks and it's laid out alphabetically. All the person's links are there, so you can click on a link and see their Facebook page if they put it in there, or their LinkedIn page. If they add their email, 1 click, you can send them an email if there's someone you want to follow up with.
I love that.
It's amazing. But
we're again, definitely going to have to have you come back and chat about that one.
When you're ready, I just appreciate you, Regina, and love the chance to come and just build our relationship.
Absolutely. All right. So for everybody, I will make sure that these links are down in underneath all of our live streams here. So on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube, I will make sure the links are everywhere. You need to check out Tom. If you don't go anyplace else, go to his school community. There's so much valuable information out there that he shares, and that's for free. And then you can just see how valuable it really is. So thank you, Tom, so much for being here today. I really appreciate you.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you, and anything I can do to support what you're doing, I'm here.
Oh, thank you so much. And we will see you all next time on Coffee with Regina. Bye for now.